And our special guest today is Everett Glenn, Public Works Director for the City of Enid. Everett.
Thank you for
Good
having
morning.
me.
It's good to see you. See you all the time, but it's still good to see you.
Thank you.
Thanks for being with us today.
No problem.
Sarah's got all kinds of questions, so here we go.
Good, now
Sure
be easy
do.
on me now.
I sure do. Welcome to the show, Everett. It's really nice to have you here. I really like today's topic because I know a lot of people don't really know what Public Works is all about. So I think they'll learn a lot this morning. As Steve mentioned, you are the Director of Public Works. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do for the city?
Sure. My role, I'm kind of new at this. When I come into this position, I not only want to be a good Public Works Director, but I want to take that direction and use it as a direction to lead my public works groups, my leaders, my supervisors, my employees, to the direction we need to make a good community and kind of be good customer relations back to them. So that's my goal, is to give them the resources and the things they need to do their jobs good.
You talked about your employees right off the bat. Can you kind of give us a frame, if you will, for people to say, yeah, I hear of Public Works, and maybe I see some trucks in the Enid community that says Public Works on the side. How many employees do you have?
We have 68 full-time employees, and we have 30 part-time employees. That consists in 4 different departments, of course. We work with the streets, the fleet management that keeps our fleet moving for all of our areas, including public utilities. We have our technical services that keeps our traffic lights and signs and things all moving and up to par and visible where you can see them. And then we have our parks department, which is very crucial for our people that wants to go and do their, their life and stuff like that, and enjoy their parks. So.
Very good. I know you talked about the different departments that make Public Works. Any of these departments, I know when I think of work, before I worked out there actually, I used to think Monday through Friday, 8 to 5 was my job. Out of your 4 departments, are any of those departments 8 to 5, or do you have 24/7 staff?
Our normal hours is 7:30, 3:30, but we have 24/7 staff, so we can respond on anything from cleaning the debris out of the street to make it safe, set up barricades for water breaks and stuff. That way people don't run into them and cause any problems. So we're always going, and even we got 24/7 in our park staff for when we got people out in the pavilions and stuff and they need something, we can respond and help them out. So.
Our guest this morning on Good Morning Enid is the Public Works Director for the City of Enid, Everett Glenn. Everett, from time to time, I'll get a call because they'll say, well, you need to do public relations, and that's why I'm calling you. Because they'll report maybe a traffic light out or maybe a tree down in the neighborhood and it's impacting the street. But people call my office for a variety of reasons, and I know that you get calls all the time. So what is the best method, the best avenue to report a problem, pothole, any street problem, traffic light out, anything that impacts the community? What's the best way for folks to do that?
There's several ways we can do that. You can get online, of course. There's an area on there for our Q&A.gov. You can fill out a request. It'll come to us. We can look at it and we can respond accordingly. You can call my number, of course, 616-7327. And I'll talk to you personally. That's my direct line to my office. And if I'm not there, it'll come to my cell phone. Or you can just call the city offices, and our receptionist there will get it to the right place. More than likely to my administrative assistant, Kelly Muncrest, and she'll get it to the right direction to help everybody out.
If we can, Penn, can you go back to that very first graphic that you had on the citizen support? Yeah, thank you. Now, how is that monitored? Somebody looks at 2 o'clock in the morning. Does somebody see that once they respond at 2 o'clock in the morning? Or does that sit there for?
That said, we don't see that 2 o'clock in the morning because it just gets emailed to us and we don't read emails at 2 o'clock in the morning. Right. So if it's an emergency, you probably ought to call the police department and they'll get our on-call people and they'll respond to it.
Okay. Very good.
I would like to add, that's actually something that a lot of the departments within the city have. So if you have more problems other than potholes, that's always a good option. So just remember to check that out on our Enid website. Everett, I know you mentioned that a lot of your staff is 24/7, and obviously running a city takes a lot of work and it requires a lot of skills. What type of skill sets do your employees have that help them run part of this city?
That's kind of a hard question. We've got so many skill sets out there. We've got concrete technicians, we got electrical people, we got plumbing people, technical people that can control lights and signals and stuff. And it takes everybody in our city, our 68 employees, from the top of our supervisors all the way down to our last person who's got very important roles in all this. We're actually kind of regrouping, thinking things out, because we want to be good with the community. This is our community. We want it to be good. We want it to grow. And they're all a big part of it, and they're really jumping on board with me on this thing. Like I said, I'm new at this, but I want them to get the morale, and I'm getting them the motivation on to really create good things. But skill sets, there's a lot out there. I mean, we can do buildings. We're doing roofing right now, painting, plumbing, whatever. We can do it.
Everett, you said twice you're new at this, but tell us how long you've been with the city of Enid.
I've been in the city for 25 years now. I started with
Yeah,
seasonal.
you're new at this.
Yeah, I started seasonal golf course. I moved my way into a railway maintenance type worker and did the groundwork, became equipment operator, ran all the equipment, then moved into the foreman, supervisor positions, equipment facilitator, so I know all about all the equipment and what we need to get the jobs done. And then I moved into this public works director. So I can see the whole picture of what we need to do and get done. Of course, I can't do it without my good team out there that's doing it. So.
Well, we all say that. You got to surround yourself with the best folks.
That's right.
Speaking of the folks, tell us about the work environment, maybe what the culture's like. Somebody's watching the show this morning, their nephew needs a job or a husband needs a job and they're thinking of making a career change. Again, people understand, or they hear the phrase public works, they go, well, is this a sit down at the table, or do I put on my high boots and do I get after it kind of deal? So the work environment for public works is pretty much on the go, isn't it?
Right. You can take it all the way from putting rubber boots on and climbing in a mud hole up to your kneecaps, or you can sit in the office and help with the paperwork and stuff. There's a lot of things that we can do. Of course, first thing we're family oriented. I want these guys to really be a good group and enjoy their lives, go home safely, and all that. But there is a lot of things to do between housework, painting, building, concrete work, knowing about toys and parks, creating events for us to have a good time. So there's a lot of things out there.
I can definitely say that it's a great environment to work at, because, I mean, if you like to eat, this is the place to work for too. They definitely like to feast every so often. Can you
Is
tell?
that on the job application? Do you
No,
check
that's
the
just the
box
part.
if you like to eat? Okay. That's just a public works thing only. Okay.
Everett, can you tell us a little bit about those residents that are out there worried about certain parts of the city? What can they do to assist the Public Works Department to make the city
That's a good
feel
question.
better?
I think the biggest thing is to be patient with us. We have a lot of things to do out in the public, from potholes to water leak breaks, repairs, to trees, to mowing, to trimming trees, line painting that we're really getting involved in to help get the traffic down the road. So be patient with me, the first thing, but also report those problems to us. We don't know about them until we get told. And we've become more of a community. I want to be a good customer relationship, so we're going to respond back to you. So give me the things that needs to be done, looked at. I can't promise the world, but we're definitely going to get back with you. We're going to look at the problem, and we're going to get the right resources and get that problem taken care of.
And that was kind of shared with me the other day at the administration building. The person was walking in our building and made comments about certain parts of our welcoming part in our building that needed to be cleaned up. And again, sometimes we're so close to it, we may overlook it and not look at, but we need another set of eyes out there in the community to help us out.
That's right.
And we appreciate that.
That's right.
Well, yesterday, timing is good, Everett, because yesterday you had the opportunity to visit with Jennifer Watson, the Community Relations Director for the Thunder Cares organization. The Thunder, basically, were in town yesterday. Tell us what's going to take place here on, I believe, June 5th.
June 5th. We're excited. The Thunder Care Foundation is going to come in. We're going to dedicate the new courts down on Cherokee and 6th, I believe. They've redone the courts and got it all with Thunder logos. Looks beautiful down there. We've also upgraded the park some with new facilities on the restrooms and the park stuff, the new sidewalks.
There's new park equipment
parking
on the north
equipment
side.
on the north
and
side.
This is at Don Haskins Park.
And we're going to do a big dedication, and it's going to be wonderful. We're going to be serving hot dogs, ice cream, water. We're going to make a good things out. And we're going to get some kids in the community involved in it and really have a good time.
So I encourage everyone to put that on your calendar, 10 a.m. on June 5th. That's a Tuesday. And the Thunder organization has their program. They'll have different VIPs from the Thunder coming up, and they'll have their own master of ceremonies. They'll have just all types of individuals with the organization. So Mark, put that on your calendar if you would, Sarah, that you could kind of update the city on, that Public Works is working on. We know the Thunder ribbon cutting event is June 5th, but any other projects that,
Sure.
any major sidewalks, any street efforts going on?
Yes, over on Randolph and Adams, we're working on a section that's been a problem for years. It's been really unlevel and issues for cars going through there. So we're kind of upgrading it a little bit, repatching it, doing the drainage work and getting the water where it flow. We've got some areas downtown we're moving to next that we're having problems around curbsides and bricks are caving into the sidewalk. So we're going to work on that on our next project.
Excuse me, let's go back to that first project you talked about that you're working on. I think Derek and I both have received calls about when's that going to be done. Can you give us a guesstimate of when that?
The guesstimate right now, we're looking next Friday and we'll have it open back
Okay.
up. So we're doing good. Of course, we have several areas that's, we got little caving stuff that we're working on, which is just normal procedures that we follow. Park stuff, we're working real close on getting ready for July 4th. It's coming up. There's going to be some good things going on with that. Things that probably has never been there before, so I'm excited about that. It's going to make it really big. And we're looking down the road to do we're getting some new equipment in, so our drainage work is going to be improving and stuff. So when I said the resources for me to help them get the resources to do their jobs, we're getting those resources. Mr. Gilbert, city manager, is really helping us out and listening and getting us the things to do to improve our jobs and improve this community. So I see good things in the future.
I think what you just shared with us just remind us how much effort it takes to keep a city going. We may not see it every day because of our routines and things that we're involved in, but you are talking drainage and streets to be safe, and at the same time you're preparing for 4th of July and things of this nature. So